It goes without saying that everything offends someone. What you or I might see as mundane or inconsequential can send someone else into a complete rage. Now, of course, the more controversial something gets, the more likely it is to offend someone.
You need to get out!
Shut the fuck up!
And this raises a somewhat obvious but worthwhile question. Should we care about somebody getting their feelings hurt? Should someone being offended by something actually matter? More importantly, should we let it affect how we express ourselves creatively or approach genuine domains of inquiry like art or fiction or even video gaming? Should we let it affect how we experience the outrageous, the unlikely, the utterly fictional? Should we let this fact alter the very landscape of creativity just because somebody gets their feelings hurt?
Nope.
No, of course we shouldn't. Unfortunately, this is exactly what we're starting to see in the video game industry, and recent developments are concerning to say the least. In this week's episode of Safe Space TV, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Now, us gamers all have those old-time favorites that we love. Those insurmountable classics that will forever hold a place in our memories. I'm talking about games that had such an impact on us that we literally had an existential crisis when we finished them. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, well then you sure as hell will when I mention this series. That's right, ladies and gents. Mass Effect. Now, if you're a gamer and you haven't played the Mass Effect trilogy, then I'm gonna insist that you immediately stop watching this video and go and play it, you pleb. These 3 games are an absolute staple in any healthy gaming diet. Now, like with any other healthy diet, you need to monitor your intake. In Mass Effect's case, 3 games was probably enough, but EA and BioWare had to do what every other modern day developer does. They tried to serve us up a plate of leftovers masquerading as the real thing, which some of us forced down in the hopes of deriving the same pleasure from it as we did the first 3 meals, while others couldn't suppress their natural gag reflexes when they were served this hot plate of crap. That's right, you guessed it, Mass Effect Andromeda. But let's not be hasty now. I'm going to talk about why. Now, the original trilogy largely revolves around a soldier named Commander Shepard, in which you can play as either a male or female variation, and his or her mission is to save the galaxy from a race of powerful mechanical beings known as the Reapers. Along the way, you meet a vast ensemble of characters, including fan favorite Garrus, a member of the alien race known as the Turians, Rex, a member of a battle-hungry race of aliens known as the Krogan, Mordin, a witty and humorous geneticist professor, and Miranda Lawson was genetically altered to literally be the perfect woman. Now, these characters are so solid and well written that you experience the same emotions they do. When they laugh, you laugh. When they cry, you cry. There is such a broad spectrum of physical identities, political ideologies, and even sexual preferences that to be in the center of a narrative where you can witness firsthand how it all intersects, also in response to your character, your identity, and the decisions you make, is not only well crafted, but extremely realistic and relatable. Pair that with one of the best told narratives in gaming history, and you've got a fully immersive, emotional roller coaster of a game. So how does the sequel compare? Now, the game takes place a few centuries after the original trilogy, and in the same vein as the originals, you can play as either a male or a female, known as Scott or Sarah Ryder. You play the role of humanity's pathfinder, tasked with finding them a new home world to colonize. In Andromeda, you also have a cast of companions to choose from, such as Liam, an unruly boy scout who constantly breaks the rules and crawls back for forgiveness, as well as asking for help to clean up his mess. Cora, who looks like a carbon copy of one of Australia's most infamous feminists.
I'm a feminist, and I'm proud to be a feminist, and a lot of what you say...
That's okay. I'm sure they'll cure you soon.
And Vetra, a player-sexual alien who you can romance no matter if you're man, woman, gay, straight, or bi. Doesn't matter. Compare that with the original trilogy, where literally everybody in your team brought something to the table. Couple that with the terrible, lifeless animations.
My father's dead. He made me his successor.
Alec is dead.
And the controversy that some of the characters were deliberately made ugly to oppose modern day beauty standards. And it looks like these guys were all just thrown together. It looks like diversity was favored over design. Now, I wouldn't say identity politics and how they interplay with the characters or the narrative are a bad thing, so long as those politics supplement the game itself. But to place it in a game to appease the real world ideologues who aren't happy unless everybody's equally represented is just outright pandering. It's almost as if the people at BioWare who worked on the original trilogy all left and were replaced with social justice warriors. Oh wait! What an unfortunate coincidence that the game's release also coincided with World Down Syndrome Day. I guess even the universe at large was willing to give feedback on these terrible character animations. Now, making a shit game as a result of political correctness is one thing, but what about political correctness in the realm of esports and player conduct? Nobody quite takes the politically correct cake in this regard like Blizzard Entertainment, who have just recently started to take the competitive esports scene by storm with their recent edition of the Overwatch League. Now, Overwatch is a nice blend between a first-person shooter and a multiplayer online battle arena, also known as a MOBA. Now, for those of you out there who have played MOBAs before, I'm sure you're no stranger to internet toxicity.
Fuck my pussy.
Even you can fucking go to the McDray. Why you go to the fucking Roadhog?
Now, most of these games have an inbuilt player reporting system, by which you can report players who demonstrate this excessively toxic behavior in the hopes of getting them banned. Now that brings me to my next point, which is this gentleman, Mr. Jeff Kaplan, who has taken things one step too far in his fight against internet toxicity. In Kaplan's own words, Blizzard now proactively seek out your social media sites, like YouTube, and look for incidents of very toxic behavior. They then track down the Blizzard account associated with those participating in said behavior, and they action them before anybody's even reported them. Now, gamers are quite upset and are accusing Blizzard of thought policing or Orwellian tactic, but Kaplan claims this is just an example of them being proactive. Monitoring my social media to see if I'm suitable to play your game is most definitely a form of thought policing. If my conduct within the game doesn't comply with your terms of service, by all means, ban me, but how I choose to conduct myself outside the game is none of your fucking business. And in case you're still not convinced, Blizzard are now thought policing the Overwatch League as well. Overwatch League player J1 recently celebrated his 18th birthday, in which he tweeted out a picture of popular internet meme Pepe the Frog wearing a birthday hat. Shortly after, he tweeted again that he needed to delete the previous tweet and thanked everyone for his birthday wishes. Now, according to the world's leading esports consultant, Blizzard reached out to the management of his team, the San Francisco Shock, and asked that he take it down on the grounds that Pepe is potentially offensive. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Pepe the Frog has been brandished an alt-right hate symbol by leftists in the mainstream media. Basically, anybody who comes into contact with Pepe or uses his image in any way, shape or form is immediately labeled an alt-right bigot.
This picture of you with behind the pet, is that you? I mean, it's you, but I mean, that's an actual photo of you. You did that? This is the Pepe flag, which I'm sure you know is seen by the left as a hate symbol.
The left sees all sorts of things as hate symbols.
But it's
Pretty sure it's just a meme of a cartoon frog. This Pepe is a hate symbol nonsense first started during the presidential election, when Pepe was quite often characterized as Donald Trump. Now, Pepe can basically be anyone. He can be Trump, he can be Hitler, he can be Stalin, he can be your everyday black guy, a Mexican guy, whatever, anything goes. But for some reason that when leftists see Pepe as as Donald Trump or Hitler, they think he's identifying as these people. Yet when they see him as a black guy or a Mexican, they think Pepe's mocking them and that he's inherently racist. Why is the same not true when Pepe is portraying Donald Trump? I mean, is he not mocking him then? Sounds to me like you're viewing Pepe through your own ideological lenses, bigots. Blizzard have gone so far to protect the feelings of their fan base that they've even banned the phrase GG easy, which literally means good game easy. It's a kind of harmless way of trash talking your opponents and telling them that it was a good game, but it wasn't that difficult. Doesn't sound very harmful, does it? Well, Blizzard seems to disagree. In fact, if you try to enter GG Easy into the chat after a match, it automatically gets replaced with some generic and childish politically correct statement. I mean, not only can you get around it just by typing GG and then easy on a separate line, but it's just a friendly bit of banter, guys. Come on, just shrug it off. Defeat. I mean, if you need to be protected from the potential emotional harm of coming into contact with the cartoon frog or being told GG easy, then the community is not the problem. You are. Is the community toxic? Yes. Are you a pansy if the sight of Pepe the Frog or GG easy upsets you? Yes. Let's find a reasonable middle ground here. You don't need to go around policing people's social media or protecting them from things that might upset them. That's just ridiculous. Us gamers have made it pretty clear that we don't want this shit in our games. Relating back to our first example, we want rich, diverse characters that supplement the game's already established narrative, not politically correct diversity that conforms with the persecution narrative pushed by the left. And we want to be able to enjoy our games free from things that actually are toxic.
Fuck my pussy.
Not perceived to be toxic by somebody with the emotional resilience of a 5-year-old. There's a reason that gamers constantly want to relive the golden days of gaming. There's a reason we keep coming back to the classics. It's because you guys are diluting and polluting the gaming industry with your politically correct bullshit. And it's time for it to stop. Did you enjoy the video? Well, I mean, you already saw it, so what do I care? But if you did, make sure to click the red subscribe button down below, and make sure to click the bell icon to enable notifications. That way you will never miss a new video. And you'll want to do that because there's a new video on the way every week.